Noel,
Yes, sir.
yes. The perio maintenance. How soon could I start the perio maintenance? Because it's imperative that I begin the perio maintenance as soon as possible. Because as I mentioned to you, they told me that I have gum disease, and they can get rid of the gum disease with the perio maintenance. But obviously, if I don't get the perio maintenance done in time and get rid of the gum disease, the infection potentially is going to spread to different areas of my body. And
Well,
that's really
my
concerning.
my understanding is I'm not a dentist, of course, but based on past experience, in order to be eligible for perio maintenance, you first need to have a deep cleaning completed. That would be the first step in the process.
All right.
Okay, so as I indicated before, I was reaching out to confirm a few pieces of information before conducting a dentist search. I'm going to be attempting to identify closer participating options in your area that we can coordinate a dental appointment with for an evaluation to be completed, and then you'll be able to take it from that point.
I hope you could help me. I mean, I've been trying to find specialists to go to in Tallahassee, and I've been experiencing a lot of difficulties. I've had to file several grievances in reference to needing to go to specialists that are in Tallahassee, Florida specifically, because I have neck and back injuries due to police brutality. And I'm trying to fully recover from my injuries as well as obtain monetary relief. And traveling long distances in a vehicle, it makes my neck hurt worse. So I specified that to Humana Medicaid, to DENTAQUEST, numerous times, and I've had to file numerous grievances to be able to have them find me a specialist in the state of in Tallahassee specifically, because the list that they're generating and populating on the physician finder with doctors that are within the network of Humana or DentaQuest, they're all 50, 60, 70, 90 miles away, and that's approximately 150, 160, 170, 180 mile round trip.
Yes, I totally understand. And I'll make sure to take that information in consideration when conducting a dentist search. If I'm unable to identify or provide you with a resolution, I will be escalating this request to my provider engagement department and make sure to indicate that information that you just gave me regarding the medical conditions you're experiencing and the fact that you cannot travel long distances.
Is there anything I could do for you, Noel?
No, that was pretty much it. I just wanted to confirm one last thing. The office that is making the recommendation for you to have perio treatment with a periodontist is it Bond Community Health Center
No, sir.
in Tallahassee?
No, sir.
No.
I went to numerous dentists, one of which is a dentist who identified himself as Ortiz Rodriguez.
Ricardo Ortiz?
Ricardo Ortiz Rodriguez. He has an oral and maxillofacial surgery dental office here in Tallahassee, Florida, on Coolidge Drive or Coolidge Road,
Right.
here in Tallahassee, Florida. I went there. He was attempting to help me, but the Humana Medicaid didn't approve the anesthesia that he wanted for me to have when he was when he was going to extract my first molar on the bottom left side, and then two top teeth on the, or a tooth on the top right-hand corner. And he said he needs anesthesia to do that. And he said Humana Medicaid covered the cost of the procedure itself, of the extractions, but they didn't cover the cost of the anesthesia. And he said, said that it's very painful, and he needs them to cover the cost of the anesthesia. And I told him, well, let's call Humana Medicaid on three-way and explain that to them. So we called them on three-way, and they said for him to put the claim in, but then they didn't approve it. And I told him, I said, well, could you just numb the area? And he said, no, I need them to cover the cost of the anesthesia. And if they're not going to cover the cost of the anesthesia, then I'm going to have to charge you for the fee of the anesthesia and the full mouth x-ray.
Okay.
And I told
you a quick question.
And I told him I told him I'm on Social Security disability income, and I'm on food stamps, and I only have $967 a month in income. My rent is $750. My utility bills are approximately $200 to $150 a month. My phone bill is approximately $50. My Apple bill is approximately $39.98. And my Google bill is $1.99. And I'm literally going into debt every single month, approximately $19.98, just to be able to afford my necessary living necessities, all of which are necessary living necessities. I have to have those bills paid. My phone bill, I need paid because I have to continue to document all of my efforts to fully recover from the police brutality, to be able to help my family, and of course obtain monetary relief from the police brutality cases and the reoccurring malicious harassment that hasn't stopped ever since I reported the police brutality cases and obtained and tried my best to obtain monetary relief and fully recover from the injuries. And my Apple bill, because I have to save all of the documentation, files, pictures, videos of all of my efforts on my iCloud. And my Google bill, because I have to email all of these exhibits of evidence to all of my opposing counsels and several participating government agencies, all of which who are responsible for paying me for the police brutality injuries that their departments are responsible for, because the officers that injured me are government employees and they are under the same government municipalities. Like, for example, the Florida Department of Financial Services here in Tallahassee, Florida. They're responsible for paying out the settlements for the police brutality injuries. They're located here in Tallahassee, Florida. The police departments that injured me are the City of Miami Police Department, the Broward Sheriff's Office, the Fort Lauderdale Police Department. They're in South Florida. So all of those bills are necessary living necessities.
Is Dr. Ricardo Ortiz Rodriguez the one suggesting for you to have periodontal work completed?
Yes, he specifically specified, I need perio maintenance. He said he can get rid of the gum disease, but I have to have perio maintenance in order for the gum disease to be eliminated.
And you stated before Dr. Ortiz didn't provide you with a copy of your treatment plan, indicating that you need to have perio maintenance. Is that correct?
It potentially is in my chart there that he has attached to my name, that also has full mouth x-rays done, and then another full mouth x-ray done a year later. And that was when he recommended for the teeth to be extracted and anesthesia to be administered. And he told me he can get rid of the gum disease, but I need perio maintenance in order for him to do that. Now, after he told me he would need me to pay out of pocket for some of those fees because the insurance isn't covering it, I had to find a different dentist. That was a dentist that I found at Bond Community Health on the second floor. The dental office is on the second floor. The dentist there extracted the first molar on the bottom left side and numbed the area. He didn't use anesthesia, nor was it necessary. He numbed the area, pulled the tooth. I didn't feel much pain. I felt some pain, but it wasn't unbearable. It was pretty unbearable after the numbing agent wore off. But when he was extracting it, I didn't feel much pain, but I felt some pain. Now,
did they address your perio disease in that evaluation that you had your extraction completed?
Yes, we spoke about that, and we also spoke about the perio maintenance. But there was a nurse that was making comments that made me very uncomfortable while I was there. After the dentist examined me and left for the day, I was the last patient, and I literally watched him walk out of the door. I walked out behind him shortly after, and I sat down in the lobby in a wheelchair waiting for my transportation to arrive to pick me up to bring me back home. There was a nurse behind the window of the front counter. She looked at me, and then she looked at her colleague who was sitting down in the computer chair at the front desk and said, "What's wrong with him? Should we just kill him?" And then they started laughing as if it was a joke. I didn't feel comfortable going back to that location after that. Now, I attempted to find another dentist after that happened, because that day, when I saw the dentist and he examined me, we scheduled an extraction, which was supposed to be approximately a week after that day that I saw the dentist, and he did an examination and determined that he was going to do the extraction. I couldn't find another dentist in time, and I was in too much pain. Now, as uncomfortable as it was to go back to a location after a nurse made a comment to me about me to her colleagues and started laughing about it, saying, "What's wrong with him? Should we just kill him?" I had to go back to that same location because of how much pain I was in. The doctor extracted the tooth, and then I left. Since then, I've been trying to find another dentist. I have not been able to get the perio maintenance done either. And I'm concerned that the gum disease has a possibility to spread to other areas in my body. And I don't want that to happen because I don't want to die.
Okay, I totally understand. So it's you have made a decision based on the incident with this nurse to not come back to Bond Community Health Center, even though their providers might have the ability of helping you out with your periodontal disease. Correct?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Before disconnecting, I just wanted to let you know one last thing. I'm looking at the pre-authorization request that the oral surgeon put in for multiple extractions in combination with sedation. Were you advised at any point that you were partially approved to be sedated for 30 minutes?
What does that mean?
Okay, so the oral surgeon requested sedation for 45 minutes with intervals of 50 minutes, right? So we approved your dental plan 2 intervals of 50 minutes, a total of 30 minutes of sedation for you to have the extraction that the dentist was requesting. Were you advised at any point that you were partially approved for sedation?
Yes.
Okay, good. I just wanted to confirm, because we didn't approve 45 minutes, but we did approve 30 minutes for you to have your extractions completed, meaning that our dental director, based on the information submitted by the oral surgeon, concluded that the treatment could be safely completed within that time. I just wanted to let you know that, okay? I was trying to make sure that you were aware of that.
Yes, I remember that being said on the conference call with the dental office and the supervisor at DENTAQUEST. And I remember that specifically bothering me because I said, if they're going to approve 30 minutes of anesthesia for a doctor to get rid of gum disease in my mouth, and the dentist is not willing to do that because they won't authorize an extra 15 minutes, then they don't really care about getting rid of the gum disease.
Okay. Very well. Then, like I said before, I will be conducting a dental search based on the information that I have gathered with you today. I'll take into consideration
Yeah, could
indicated before for Dr.
Hold on one second, Noel.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Noel, do you mind doing that dental search with me on the phone, and we give those dentists a call together?
Unfortunately, I won't be able to do that. I need to reach out to these offices on my own. And like I said before, if I'm unsuccessful getting you a dental appointment at any of these locations, because they no longer participate with DENTAQUEST or they don't have any convenient availability to offer us, then I might have to escalate the case. What I can do, I can provide you the information of the offices I will be contacting.
How many of them are they?
I have identified so far 4 options for me to get in contact with.
And what are the names and locations of those offices? I can tell you if I already reached out to them or not, so you don't waste your time.
Sure. Give me just 1 second. You may have contacted them in the past. Allow me just 1 moment. Have you contacted the Leon Health Department?
Yes, they only accept people 20 years old and under, sir.
21 and under. What about Neighborhood Medical Center in Tallahassee?
Yes, they said they can schedule me in. The soonest is April 2nd, 2026. But that's too far. That's too long of a wait, sir.
I totally agree. Okay, let me notate the information you're providing me. Give me just 1 second. Okay, what about Very Stephen C. General Dentistry?
What's the address?
Give me just 1 second. Let me pull that up. The provider's office address is 106 Northeast 5th Street. This is in Carabel, Florida.
You said 5th Street, Carabel, Florida?
Yeah.
Sounds very familiar. Hold on, I'll tell you right now.
The name of the office is Pancare of Florida.
Yes, I'm familiar. I just got off the phone earlier today with a Pancare location after doing extensive searches on DENTAQUEST and having to put in multiple different zip codes for different areas to try to find a dentist as close as possible. I found one, but it's 58 miles away. It's also a Pancare location, and the address is 807 FL22 Weewa Hitchcock, Florida 32465. Phone number says the phone number is what is the phone number? The phone number is 850-639-2028. I called them at 11:53 a.m. today, specifically Friday, August 22nd, 2025. The duration of the call was approximately 2 minutes. I spoke to a representative who answered the phone. Her name was Madison, young white girl. She was very helpful. She immediately scheduled an appointment for me for, it says,
What was
August. It said
that phone call?
the appointment is on Thursday, August 28th, 2025 at 3 p.m. with Dr. Gary Piorkowski at Pancare Health Dental Clinic, 807 FL22, Weehawken, Florida, 32465. Weehawken is spelled WEWAHITCHKA.
Okay, so you have been scheduled for a dental appointment on the 30th of this month.
No, sir. Thursday, August 28th, 2025 at 3 p.m.
Okay. So, this is to discuss your periodontal maintenance, correct?
Yes, the perio maintenance, the teeth pain, the gum disease. It's a dental office, yes.
So, okay, help me understand. What was the purpose then of placing a request through customer service for a periodontist when you already have a dental appointment scheduled on the 28th for this treatment to be taken in consideration?
Pardon?
Yeah. Okay. What was the purpose of placing a request through our customer service department for a periodontist when you were able to coordinate a dental appointment with one of our participating general dentists for the 28th?
Well, that's a very good question, and thank you for asking that question. This appointment was made today after trying to find a dentist and experiencing many difficulties. I literally called every single dentist that was populating on the list of dentists that are within the network of Humana in a 100-mile radius from my zip code in Tallahassee, Florida, 32303. And I was having a lot of difficulties. And that is why I called DENTAQUEST and filed a grievance. And I'm under the impression that is why you called me today, because they told you I'm having difficulties finding a periodontist in Tallahassee, correct?
That is correct. Now I understand. So in this window of time of placing the request to customer service and me reaching out to you, you were able to identify by yourself a participating provider and coordinated dental appointment.
Well, that is a great question. Thank you for asking that question. As I stated, I was losing hope. I was having a lot of difficulties finding a dentist here in Tallahassee. And because of the fact that I've complained about it numerous times already to Humana, Medicaid, and DENTAQUEST, and had to file several grievances, and the problem still not being resolved, I lost hope. I didn't think anyone was going to call me. The only thing that I was assuming was going to happen was them sending me a letter in the mail saying I filed a grievance and it having a case number on it and not even specifying what I filed the grievance for, because that's all that's been happening. Now, when you called me today, if you remember, what was one of the first things I asked you?
I can recall, to be honest with you. You have asked me a few questions.
One of the first things I asked you today, Noel, when you called me was, why did you decide to call me today?
Right. Now I understand why you asked me that question.
Now
it makes sense.
Now, what we need to do is actually find specialists that I could go to here in Tallahassee, because I already know from experience traveling 100-mile round trip to go to a dentist is going to be difficult for me. This particular appointment on August 28th, 2025, I have to go to that appointment because I can't find any other dentist to go to unless you find one for me before then. And my teeth and my gums are in pain right now. Literally the same area where the first molar on the bottom left-hand side was extracted. The gum and teeth pain is in that same exact area. So the tooth was extracted, which was the first step, but the perio maintenance wasn't done. That's why there's still pain there, because the gum disease wasn't fully eliminated.
Okay, if I could make a suggestion, Mr. Omar, we can do the following. You can keep my contact information. You already have my name. I can give you my direct line, meaning that you don't have to go through customer service. I can further assist you from this point. I would recommend you, since you already have a dental appointment scheduled for the 28th, is to be seen at that dental office. Most likely, the general dentist will be able to provide the type of dental work you need to have done. If, for some reason, that's not the case, you can contact me directly, and I can go ahead and initiate a dentist search for a specialist if needed. How does that sound?
Noel, I'm 36 years old. Noel, how old are you, if you don't mind me asking?
Your age, 36 years old as well.
All right, Noel. As I stated, from experience, I know it's going to be difficult for me to travel a 100-mile round trip to go to the dentist and or to go to any specialist because of my neck and my back injuries. There's been a handful of occasions when I've had to travel long distances to go to specialists, and my neck was hurting very bad while I was just traveling in the vehicle. When I arrived to the specialist office, my neck and my back was hurting really bad. When I returned home, my neck and my back was hurting very bad, to the point where I had to go to the emergency room. That is why I need specialists that I could go to here in Tallahassee, Florida.
Right. But what I can tell you is that finding a periodontist in Tallahassee, it's going to be complicated. Now, let me ask you a question to see if I understand. The office of Dr. Gary Kurkowski at Panker of Florida, how far is that dental office from you?
From what it's saying on the Motive Care, on the Humana Medicaid Motive Care, the Humana Medicaid Government Health Insurance Motive Care Transportation app, it's saying it's 58 miles from my house to the dental office. So approximately 116-mile round trip.
Okay. And you're saying that's not a reasonable distance for you, taking in consideration your medical conditions?
Correct.
Okay. Okay. Well, if that is the case, let me go ahead and start a search to see if I can locate a closer option that can offer you a convenient dental appointment. And if that's not the case, I'll keep you updated, and I'll escalate the case to my provider engagement department so they can further assist us.
Do you mind do I need to file another grievance, or is that the purpose of you calling me today?
No need to file another grievance. That is the purpose of me reaching out today, to help you out with your request.
All right, so they assigned you because of the grievance that I filed already?
Well, before getting in contact with you, I did some research, and the only grievance I was able to locate in the system was regarding a dental and X-ray that you completed, that you had in the past, that it seems was denied. So you were filing a grievance due to benefit limitations. Did you file a grievance at any point due to not finding participating offices?
Yes, that's the same grievance that we both elaborated and acknowledged. That we both elaborated on and acknowledged. That was the grievance when you were referencing, was it brought to my attention that they approved 30 minutes of anesthesia in two 15-minute increments and not 45 minutes of anesthesia for the procedures that needed to be done or were going to be done with Dr. Ricardo Ortiz Rodriguez at the oral maxillofacial surgery dental location here in Tallahassee, Florida.
Okay. Okay, Mr. Omar. Do you have a pen and paper available so that I can provide you my direct line?
Yes. What's that grievance number? Do you remember?
No, I don't have it.
You don't have it.
No, I don't have it.
What information do you have from that specific complaint?
I don't have any information from that specific complaint.
So how were you able to? How did you know any information about that?
Well, your case was created by our customer service department. You spoke to a customer service representative at some point. I'm going to tell you exactly when. On August 15th. And this person took down your information. And based on the barriers to access of care that you were experiencing and your medical condition, they escalated the case to case management. And that's how we got your case. It wasn't through a grievance.
August 15th, 2025?
Yes.
So they're saying on August 15th, 2025, I called them and told them what?
You contacted customer service requesting help identifying a participating periodontist.
And how did you know the situation with Dr. Ricardo Ortiz Rodriguez and the anesthesia and the procedure that wasn't fully approved?
Because we have that file. Dr. Ortiz put in a prior authorization request indicating what dental services he wanted to perform. I guess you meant to ask me the prior authorization number instead of the grievance number. Is that what you meant?
Well, what day was that authorization put in, or that request or referral by Dr. Ricardo Ortiz Rodriguez?
I'll check that for you. Give me just 1 second. It was received back in March of 2025. March 25th of 2025. Almost 5 months ago.
March 25th, 2025. So I've been waiting for 5 months to do something as serious as eliminating gum disease from my mouth. Noel, may I ask you a question?
Sure.
If you had gum disease in your mouth and it was causing you pain. And it was brought to your attention that if you don't remove the gum disease from your mouth, it possibly would spread to other areas of your body. What would you do?
I will try to address that as soon as possible.
Is that what we're doing now?
Yeah, I'm reaching out to provide you assistance with your request.
May I ask you another question, Noel?
Sure.
May I request, may I ask you to request that this entire may I ask you to request that this entire situation is expedited, please?
Yeah. Clearly, I'm going to work on your case as soon as possible. I'm expecting to give you a call back, I would say, sometime Monday, hopefully with a resolution, with a dental appointment schedule. But if that's not the case, if I end up escalating your case to our provider engagement department, I'll make sure to indicate the emergency symptoms you're currently experiencing and the fact that you have been dealing with periodontal disease for quite a few months now, so that they can expedite your case and provide a resolution as soon as possible.
Yes, and then also bring to their attention the full mouth exam and x-ray that Dr. Ricardo Ortiz Rodriguez did a year before my visit on March 25th, 2025. Are you able to see that any authorizations that he put in for that?
I don't think Dr. Ortiz putting a prior authorization for an evaluation and x-rays. Those services are not required to be prior authorized. They're just a cover benefit under your plan, and the provider can go ahead and perform them without asking for authorization.
Well, do you see a claim that he put in for that so he could get paid?
Most likely. Give me just 1 second. Let me take a look. What was the date of service again?
It was approximately 1 year before March 25th, 2025. Same doctor, Dr. Ricardo Ortiz Rodriguez.
I found a claim on March 27th of 2024. I see it now.
Yes, so that is when he brought to my attention that I need perio maintenance, because he could see I have several infected areas of my gums and teeth that need to be extracted. So I've been suffering from this same problem since he brought that to my attention. Potentially longer than that, but it was acknowledged by Dr. Ricardo Ortiz Rodriguez on March 27th, 2024. So bring that to their attention to make sure they expedite it. Because I'm sure they'll feel more concerned and they'll feel more bad for me if you tell them, hey, Omar's been suffering from this perio gum disease since March 27, 2024. You know, they'll feel bad. They'll feel more bad for me if you tell them I've been suffering from that since then, opposed to I've been suffering from that since March 25th, 2025.
Absolutely. I'll make sure to make a mention of that. Ms. Omar, if you don't mind me asking, if I could give you this suggestion, I'm going to work on your case, and I don't mind searching for dental offices, contacting them, discussing your case, and trying to provide you with a resolution. That's my job. But taking in consideration your concern for the infection and other symptoms that you're currently experiencing, as well as the fact that you have had periodontal disease for quite a few months, why don't you consider going back to Bond Community Health Center? I understand that you had an uncomfortable situation with that specific nurse, but think about it. You will be able to have your dental issue resolved. And once your periodontal disease is treated, then from that point, you can start considering going to a different dental office. But at least you know that you're going to have your infection eliminated. You will be able to receive periodontal treatment. And then once you're fully healed, you can consider moving to a different primary care dentist. I don't know. It's just a suggestion that I have for you. I would do that in your case.
Blindly. The problem with that is I feel very uncomfortable. I felt even more uncomfortable when I was forced to go back to that same location because I couldn't find any other dental office in time and I was in too much pain to wait any longer. And when I went back to that office, after I complained about what that nurse said, and that entire office was aware that I complained, including the dentist himself, they all were acting very weird towards me. And I felt even more uncomfortable.
Okay, I understand. I wasn't aware that you brought that up to their attention and you complain about this nurse behavior and reaction towards you.
I did everything possible to try to find another dentist to go to as soon as possible. I did everything possible, from filing a complaint with Humana Medicaid, filing a complaint with DENTAQUEST, filing a complaint with the Better Business Bureau, filing a complaint with the FBI, the CIA, the White House, and several government participating agencies. I filed a complaint on Google. And they still didn't find me a different dentist to go to. They just kept telling me we could email you a list of dentists 100 miles from your location. And I already called all of them. They just kept telling me the same pitch over and over again. Then they told me I could file a grievance. I filed a grievance. When I called them back and I asked them, could I please go to a different dentist here in Tallahassee? They told me, did you file a grievance yet? I said, yes. They said, well, it's being looked into, or it's being investigated, or they're working on it. And they told me in the meantime, they could send me another list of, they could email me another list of dentists 100 miles from my zip code. And I explained to them that I need a dentist in Tallahassee because it's difficult for me to travel long distances because of my neck and back injuries. And they told me to file another grievance. I filed another grievance. I called them back on a later day and I asked them, could I please go to a dentist here in Tallahassee? They said the same thing. Did you file a grievance? I said, yes. They said, okay, well, they're working on it. In the meantime, I can email you another list of dentists to choose from 100 miles, within 100 miles of the zip code that you prefer. In other words, the problem was never resolved, Noel.
Okay. Well, I'll be working on your case, and I'll give you a call back as soon as I have a resolution or an update to provide you with. Most likely that is going to happen next Monday, so be expecting a phone call from me.
All right, let me write down your information. What's the best number to get in contact with you on?
305 894 8384.
And what's your first and last name?
My first name is Noel. My last name is Rodriguez.
How do I spell that?
Rodriguez?
Rodriguez?
Yeah, Rodriguz.
And then what department do you work in?
Case management.
Case management. Noel, I got gum disease because of the fact that I've been maliciously harassed ever since I reported the police brutality cases and tried to obtain monetary relief from them so I could fully recover from my injuries and help my family. I'm now battling gum disease because of obstruction of justice by my opposing counsels and their friends in a police brutality case. I'm now battling gum disease because of that. On top of the fact that my neck is injured and my back is injured and my hands and arms and my legs and my feet keep going numb. And I keep getting headaches.
Okay, Mr. Omar, I totally understand. I'm sorry what you have gone through.
Noel, another thing too I need to bring to your attention. The first officer who injured me, he identified himself as Officer Ronnie Rodriguez, badge number 42511 from the City of Miami Police Department. Specifically, he put me in a chokehold and then he twisted my neck to the right. The fifth time I struggled to say I couldn't breathe, while I was on my knees with my hands in the air, specifically saying, I can't breathe, I can't breathe, I can't breathe, I can't breathe. The fifth time I said I couldn't breathe, he very violently and aggressively and intentionally twisted my neck to the right, attempting to break my neck. And then he picked me up off my knees and body slammed me onto my left side, onto the concrete, in front of his supervisor, Sergeant Edwin Gomez, badge number 4251. In front of Sergeant Edwin Gomez, his supervisor, badge number 2364 from the City of Miami Police Department. After I told his supervisor, Sergeant Edwin Gomez, badge number 2364, that Officer Ronnie Rodriguez, badge number 42511, pushed me in my chest 3 times and wasn't willing to call a supervisor until I started recording him with my camera phone. And he didn't call a supervisor until I started recording him with my camera phone. And when he arrived, and I told on him, that's when he snuck up behind me, put me in a chokehold, twisted my neck to the right, and body slammed me onto my left side, all out of retaliation for telling his supervisor, Sergeant Edwin Gomez, that he pushed me in my chest 3 times and wasn't willing to call a supervisor. And then a PRI officer arrived who identified himself as PRI officer, police responding to the incident officer, Leslie Diaz, badge number 40742 from the City of Miami Police Department. Diaz, badge number 40742, immediately walked up to Rodriguez, badge number 42511, and said, "So why'd you beat him up?" And then Rodriguez, badge number 42511, started exchanging words with him and then started yelling at him and said these exact words: "Man, let's just take this kid somewhere and beat the shit out of him some more." Diaz, badge number 40742, responded and told him to take me to Jackson Memorial Hospital. That's when Rodriguez, badge number 42511, walked around the front of the police vehicle that I was in handcuffs after he intentionally aggravatedly assaulted me by twisting my neck, by choking me, twisting my neck, and body slamming me onto my left side. He opened the the front driver's side door of the police vehicle that he put me in after he attempted to murder me, leaned his head in the vehicle and said, "When you don't listen, you get your ass beat." He said that immediately after Diaz, badge number 40742, told him to take me to Jackson Memorial Hospital. After Rodriguez, badge number 42511, told him, "Man, let's just take this kid somewhere and beat the shit out of him some more." Then it happened again in the city of Miami by 2 different officers who identified themselves as Officer Brown and Officer Brogdon. But the entire time that first police brutality case was happening, there was 2 police vehicles at that crime scene the entire time. Officer Ronnie Rodriguez, badge number 42511's police vehicle, and Officer Al Bello's police vehicle. ALBELO, Officer Al Bello from the City of Miami Police Department. His vehicle was parked behind a silver Nissan Sentra. What looked like a traffic stop. When I walked onto that crime scene, there was 2 police vehicles already there. Rodriguez badge number 42511's police vehicle and Officer Al Bello's police vehicle. Officer Al Bello was nowhere in sight, but his vehicle was there. Now, PRI officer Leslie Diaz, when he arrived to that crime scene, that's when Officer Al Bello appeared at the same time. They both started walking towards Officer Ronnie Rodriguez, and right before approaching him within a foot or two, Officer Al Bello stepped back and Officer Leslie Diaz confronted him and said, "So why'd you beat him up?" Now, Officer Al Bello and and Sergeant Edwin Gomez, badge number 2364, failed to intervene. They both could have stopped Rodriguez, badge number 42511, from choking me, twisting my neck to the right, and body slamming me onto my left side. They failed to intervene. And then, as I stated, it happened again in the city of Miami by two different police officers who identified themselves as Officer Brown and Officer Brogdon. Specifically, when I went to the Four Seasons Hotel to hand deliver settlement documentation that was overnight FedEx rush delivered to me to sign because of a out-of-court settlement agreement that me and JP Morgan Chase Bank agreed to. And JP Morgan Chase Bank hired a law firm by the name of Homer, Bonner, and Jacobs on the 14th floor of the Four Seasons Hotel in downtown Miami, in the Brickell area.
I do apologize for interrupting you, and I'm really sorry what you have gone through, as I indicated before. But I have to drop off. I need to be in a meeting in a couple of minutes, and I need to get ready for that. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Noel, and just to so you have a full understanding, when I went there to hand deliver them documentations and being there well within my legal rights on business, they called the police on me and told them that I was trespassing, which I wasn't. I was there giving them signed documents that they mailed to me. And they told the police that I was trespassing. And when I was walking downstairs with the police, after getting in the elevator with them and leaving, and right before I was approaching the parking garage to obtain my bicycle, hold on, Noel, I need you to know this. I asked the officers, Noel, it's going to take 30 seconds of your time. I asked the officers.
It's completely relevant to your case, to your request.
Sir, it has every bit of pertinency to do with it. I asked the officers for their names and badge numbers, and when I asked them for their names and badge numbers, because I had to report specifically that they called the police on me, to the Chief Justice Michael Moore in federal court, who told them to FedEx overnight rush deliver the settlement documents to me because we agreed to settle out of court. When I asked the officers for their names and badge numbers, they jumped me from the back. And they made the injuries that Officer Ronnie Rodriguez, badge number 42511, caused. They made the injuries that made the first police brutality injuries worse. And then it happened again in Broward County by Officer Manya Tacos from the Fort Lauderdale Police Department at the Broward Health Medical Center with 5 hospital Haitian security guards and a nurse who identified herself as Nurse Vicky. They jumped on me and made the police brutality injuries from the first 2 cases worse. And then it happened a 4th time, the last time, in Broward County by Broward Sheriff's officers, 4 different Broward Sheriff's officers. They jumped me, and they made the injuries from the first 3 police brutality cases worse. Now, I'm battling gum disease because of that. Because every effort that I have been putting forth to obtain monetary relief from those police brutality cases, I have gotten maliciously harassed and stonewalled and patronized. All because my opposing counsels and their friends, who are all government employees, didn't want to get in trouble for injuring me. Because they knew they couldn't justify it. Because I have clear and convincing evidence proving my complaints far beyond a reasonable doubt. And I am now in Tallahassee, Florida for my safety. I moved from South Florida to Tallahassee, Florida for my safety. I figured I'd move to Tallahassee, Florida, being that there's more government entities and government municipalities in the capital of Florida, and they'll be more likely to follow the law, unlike high traffic tourist areas like South Florida. And as I stated, I'm now battling gum disease because of that, because of how much stress and mental anguish they put me through. They caused me to have to smoke cigarettes, which I have now quit smoking cigarettes since I have moved to Tallahassee. But I'm now battling gum disease because of the stress that they put me through and caused me to feel the urge of having to smoke cigarettes to relieve myself of some stress. All because they didn't want to get in trouble for injuring me. Because they couldn't justify it. Which is a violation of 18 United States Code, Statute 1513. Because they retaliated against me. Specifically, the statute states retaliation against a victim, witness, and or informant. Noel.
Mr. Omar, I have to drop off from this call. My meeting will be starting in 5 minutes. Okay? I'll be in contact with you as soon as I have an update. Thank you for your time and have a wonderful afternoon.
The time now is 4:53 p.m. Today is Friday, August 22nd, 2025. The duration of this audio transcript is 1 hour, 7 minutes, and 32 seconds. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.